Today's top stories.
Members of the Islamic student societies and groups gathered in front of the former U.S. Embassy in Tehran to mark the 29th anniversary of the takeover of that embassy. The new President Barak Obama, who has changed the policies of his predecessor George W. Bush and made overtures to the Iranians in particular and Muslims in general, was today placed by the demonstrators in the category of personalities who have been condemned by extremist Islamists. A caricature of Obama was spread out on the pavement and a shoe placed on his face, symbolizing protest against his presence in the region, and his name was changed from Barak Hussein Obama to Barak Yazid Obama. The spokesperson of the student group described Obama as a true Zionist, and referring to his reconciliatory tone towards Iran and the Muslims, and his calls for compromise and negotiations, his simple-mindedness. He said, quote, "Obama should know that young Iranians are too aware and alert to be deceived by his pleasant visage." Among the slogans chanted, including the usual "Death to America," the students chanted others such as "Students are awake and despair of Obama," "American change is condemned, death to the American change, death to Obama, death to Barak Yazid Obama." Ayatollah Ahmad Janati today in the second sermon of Tehran's Friday prayer praised the choice of the day for the nuclear celebration to coincide with the anniversary of severed relations between Iran and the U.S. as clever, and said, quote, "In the beginning of the revolution, there were some who were unhappy about breaking relations with America, but during the course of these 30 years, we've seen how this threat has turned into an opportunity." Janati added, "If the severing of relations with America had not taken place, today we would not be witness to such great achievements." He also said the decision of the 5+1 countries to restart talks with Tehran is a sign that they are incapable of solving the region's problems without Iran's help. Janati said, quote, "They have understood that the problems of the region in Afghanistan, Lebanon, and Iraq cannot be solved without the presence of the force of the Islamic Republic, and it is with this in mind that they have invited Iran to participate in the next 5+1 meeting. But they must know that the Islamic Republic of Iran will not surrender so easily." Elsewhere in his sermon, Janati warned that the efforts of the enemy to create doubt about the health of the elections has already started. And while insisting on the health of the elections in Iran, he said, quote, "Despite negative propaganda by enemies, for 30 years healthy elections have been held in this country, and the efforts of enemies will this time also not bear any fruit." Iran on Friday hanged 3 men convicted of involvement in a fatal bombing last year that killed 14 people and wounded more than 200 others in Shiraz, in the southern Fars province. The 3 men, Mohsen Eslamian, 21, Ali Asghar Pashtar, 20, and Ruzbeh Yayazadeh, 32, were charged last year as Moraheb, enemies of God, and apostate by the Revolution Court in Tehran. They were hanged in the city's Adalabad prison after being convicted for the April 12, 2008 bombing of the Sayyid al-Shohada Religious Center. Iran had accused the United States of arming and training those responsible for the attack, and said Britain and Israel were also involved. Washington and London have denied the accusations.
These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.